Hello everybody, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome to my little corner of the writing universe. Today, let's talk about how the first 7 days of Camp NaNoWriMo have gone. I say the first 7 days like today isn't the 7th day of NaNoWriMo, so let's talk about the first 6 and so far on this, the 7th of April. Now for Camp NaNoWriMo this year, I am writing Abingdon number 2. It is the second, obviously, in my 5-part series for my middle grade magical realism / fantasy, I guess, called Abingdon House. My goal is 50,000 words, which roughly equates to 1,667 words per day, which, to be fair, is quite an easy goal for me, considering I have done much worse before. Yeah. I also have an unofficial goal of writing 5,000 words for another one of my projects, my YA paranormal fantasy Project Mystic, which does have an actual name. I'm just referring it to Project Mystic for all of you guys because the name's my secret. Full disclosure, I was completely 100% intending to vlog during Camp NaNoWriMo, but Thursday arrived. I was not bothered to talk, so I just filmed my, progress for the day and then promptly did not do it for the rest of the week. So I have some B-roll for the first of camp, and then when we return, we'll talk about how I did. We started day one off strong. I went into it, I was raring to go. I knew what I was doing. I didn't have much block or me stopping to think, oh, what do I want to do now? I didn't procrastinate. I'd written my 1,667 words before midday, which is very, very good for me because I tend to get distracted a lot in the mornings. So I thought, this is going to be easy. This is going to be fun. Spoiler alert. So for day one, I wrote 3,859 words, which is double, I think, my standard goal. So we started off strong, and then days 2, 3, and 4 hit, and they were difficult. They were listen, I'm all for starting a story, and the beginning comes really easily, and then up until we get to the inciting incident and then like the setup and the debate and all of that, I fail miserably until we get to the meat of the story. And the problem with Abingdon 2 in regards to plot wise is that, one, I have to have a really long timeline. My timeline is 8 months in order for me to fit everything into the story that I need to fit in, as in Hazel, the protagonist, is learning magic and she's doing like introductory courses to all of the magic, which is 1 per month. So in order for me to cover the 8 different types of magic she's learning about, I have to do 8 months, which is, it's not a massive issue. Obviously Harry Potter does span plenty of months for all of the books, so it is possible to write a middle grade spanning a very long time. it's very difficult for me to work it out, and to try and keep the interest and tension on all of the bits that don't quite focus on the main point of the plot, which is fix the foundations of Abingdon House so the house does not fall. It's very layman's terms, by the way. It's a lot better than it actually sounds, I promise. So once I'd written that first chapter where we reintroduced everybody, which I thought would be difficult, it then got difficult and I struggled so much. I struggled and I was stopping and starting scenes and chapters. I was writing lines for very near the end, and then any sort of inspiration that I got for what needed to be in that chapter, I wrote down lines for it, and eventually managed to piece all of these different lines together to form hopefully a coherent chapter. I'm skipping around a lot. It's more of a zero draft now because I'll sort of finish a scene and put a star there and be like, there's technically more in this scene, but I'm not writing it now. Something is missing. And then I'm moving on to something else. And that's the best I'm going to do for now. That's how it's going to work. And it's working fine. As long as I can sort of keep a coherent plot, I can fix it in revision. So that's what we're doing. Day 2, I wrote 1,881 words. Day 3, I wrote 2,055. And day 4, I wrote 1,836. So day 4 hit. I went into day 5, which is where everything started picking up again. I went into day 5. I was not motivated to write Abingdon 2, so I switched to Project Mystic. I had the beginning of the scene in my head. I had the opening scene in my head that I've written part of for Google Docs. I wanted to finish that, sort of change up what I'm writing, so hopefully I can go back to Abingdon 2 and all will be okay. So on day 5, I ended up finishing that first opening scene, heading over to Discord and having some queenly friends pick another random scene for me to write, which I did. So that's 2 scenes for Project Mystic done and dusted, and it was so refreshing to write something else that wasn't Abingdon House. It sort of was refilling a creative well I hadn't known or hadn't figured had sort of like drained, because it drained rather quickly. I'm very surprised. So day 5, I got 2,363 words on Project Mystic, which is over half of my 5k goal. I'm going to be writing more than 5k for this. I can feel it now because I went into day 6. You know, I finished off chapter... What chapter am I on for Abingdon House? I finished off chapter 4 for Abingdon House, which is what I was struggling with at the end of day 4. And I managed to do that easily. I went back to Project Mystic in the afternoon and I wrote another full scene for that. So we managed in total for day 6, 3,697. And that was a full 1,690 for Abingdon 2. So I fulfilled my daily goal for just Abingdon 2 and then added even extra, I think 1,500 words, 1,800 words maybe for Project Mystic. So I'm very thankful that I decided to sort of add a second project in with camp, because it is at the moment helping me sort of maintain my sanity and push through and write 1667 for Abingdon House, with the knowledge that I can then move on to something else and sort of keep it fresh, keep it new, keep it different. So it's just not one focus the entire time, because I do foresee more struggles with Abingdon House as we go on. Today, the 7th, has been fine, and I've already written half of a chapter for Abingdon number 2. So we're smooth sailing with Abingdon House. Once again, I think I've written about 1,300 words so far today, which is good. It's a plus. We're back. Something interesting is about to happen in Abingdon 2 as well. So that has helped with, you know, the desire and inspiration and motivation to actually physically write it. So there we go. I am doing Katie Tastic's 3-act, 9-block, 27-chapter method for Abingdon House. I've broken that down even further for Project Mystic into scenes, which I really should have done with Abingdon House, but I did not do my prep very well, so we didn't do that. So at the bottom here on my little thing, you can see I've just highlighted all the days that I've completed and then how much I've written for the day. At the bottom here I have 9 little blocks, so every time I finish a block that will be coloured in so I can see whereabouts at least in the story I am as I'm going on in my little tracker. So far for Camp NaNoWriMo, the first 6 days, I've written 15,690 words, which it's definitely over what I'm supposed to be at. I don't know how much over. I've written about 10,000 words for Abingdon House, so we are 1/5 of the way to completing the 50k for Abingdon 2. Hopefully I will get to finish the entire novel this month, but we'll see how much detail I add and how much inspiration I get and how many parts of scenes and chapters I skip to write later in revisions. And I've written 5,000-ish, almost, words for Project Mystic, so I didn't expect to get so involved with Project Mystic or have so much fun writing it or be so inspired to write so much Project Mystic, but that's a good sign. I enjoy the sign, and my plan going forward, since it's working at the moment, is to write 1667 for Abingdon 2 every single day, and then once I've finished I can then move on to do some Project Mystic for any extra words if I'm feeling it. And that sort of push and pull, the switching it up is what it's working for me. It's keeping me motivated and it's keeping me inspired, which is fantastic. It's brilliant. So there we go, very short and sweet. That is how my Camp NaNoWriMo is going so far, guys. Let me know down in the comments below, how are you doing for camp? Have you hit any tough spots yet within your novel? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.